Welcome to the Maserati Quattroporte 2006. The worst car ever made. Parking brake down. Okay, this check engine is only a check. Once it does its check, it's going to disappear. I think Ferrari 360 do the same exact thing. Okay, let's turn a little bit of AC on because it's 90 degrees outside. Excuse the noise, but we're gonna have to, unless I open the windows, but that's gonna make more noise. So put my phone in here, make sure I have storage. Perfect. Okay, so I'll show you how this car drives first when you don't do the manual shifting, which this car is impossible to drive if you don't do it. So pretty much this car does not have a park mode. Since it's a F1 transmission, it's always in neutral. So when you're, let's say you stop at a stop sign and there's a little bit of a hill, you're going to roll back a little bit until the clutch engages. So let's put it into first gear. And as you can see, like, it's like a kid learning how to drive stick shift for the first time is controlling the transmission. That's the kind of whole feeling you get in this car. Pretty much, if you leave it in automatic mode, it'll take the throttle off between the shifts. So it's gonna kind of jerk you every single time. Look, if I let my foot off right now on the accelerator, we're rolling back right now. Pretty much you engage the clutch with the gear by pressing the accelerator a little bit, and you feel a little bit of jerkiness. It's impossible to drive this car and actually enjoy it unless you're in MA shift mode. So, sport, manual, MSP. See, we had like some sort of ice slippery traction mode on. So now we have manual, which is manual shifting. You see, this is what you switch for it to shift for you. It's you leave it on auto. When it's manual, you're going to be doing the shifting. And then we have traction off. So let's go take this thing in the most enjoyable mode possible. Oh, well, actually, we'll let that guy go. Adjust the seat meanwhile. So we have the car fully warmed up. I'm gonna do a few pulls for you so you can see and feel what it feels like to drive. This car feels like a Toyota Matrix underneath, like the suspension, the way the suspension is set up. It's not a very smooth luxury ride, I would say. Comparing it to the Mercedes, Mercedes blows this car out of the park in every way. It is a little fun shifting between these gears, just the usability and practicality of it, it kind of sucks in like everyday driving. Pretty much every time you shift, you gotta take your foot off the gas, otherwise you're gonna get a really jerky shift. To put it into neutral, bring both of the clutches back. First gear. This is a 6-speed F1, I believe. Yeah, 6-speed. The brakes in here are about mediocre. The turning radius in this car is terrible. Let me show you. We're gonna go in here, we're just gonna do a loop. I remember I wanted to do a U-turn when I was getting some gas in this car earlier, and I had to do reverse, forward, like it was just a mess. But the turning radius is pretty bad. Comparing it to the S-Class, you know, like when you drive the Mercedes every single day, just everything else feels like a piece of shit. you want performance, reliable performance, in my opinion, I'd buy a V8 compressor car. E55 AMG, S55, CL55, much more refined car. The thing that sucks is these shifters don't move with you. It's like when you're turning the wheel, these shifters are still in place. So if you want to do an upshift mid-turn, you're gonna have to, you know, position your hand a little differently. I am not enjoying myself, man. I am not enjoying myself. This car feels like the S-Class with the dampening mode all the way hardened up, you know, as maximum as you can. No, I think this engine produces a measly like 396 horsepower, or like 333 foot-pounds of torque, somewhere around there. 330 foot-pounds, 390 something horsepower. It's, I don't know, it's just not very impressive to me. When you're used to like driving an E55 or S55, this just kind of feels a little sluggish, unfortunately. It rev matches for you nicely. If you put an exhaust on this car, I feel like that would be really enjoyable. Let's actually turn the AC off, see if we gain any more power out of this car. Nice Maserati clock over here. I'm trying to find nice things to say, but there's just not a whole lot I can come up with. The suspension, man, holy shit, they couldn't have come up with something better. Air suspension, I mean, come on, Maserati, like, this is just, it's uncomfortable. You just feel every bump, and it's just, I don't know, it's not very fast, it's not very comfortable. I don't know what this car's supposed to be good at. Just fooling, I think, people into thinking you have some crazy ass sports car. I think that's what this car is designed to be. Just trick and fool people. This will never truly trick a car guy. Like, if you're an actual genuine car guy and you've driven some like solid real cars, this will never ever impress you or wow you. Just letting you know. But see, it's that curious thing, it's the curiosity. If you've never owned one, you've never driven one, how are you supposed to make, you know, a judgment? The fuck. Everything's made in here so cheap. And this mirror adjustment's the worst one I've ever seen. I try to adjust these mirrors, it is nearly impossible to adjust these. They like fold on you when you try. One keeps going forever, it won't stop. I just gave up on that. We'll put it into, oh no, we'll leave it in enjoyable mode. You got a rear sunshade. You do get Bose speakers, but I don't have the radio code, so I can't show you what that sounds like. Battery was disconnected, and unfortunately there's no code in the glove box in this car. We'll do a UE over here. Everywhere you take this car, people tell you, nice car, amazing car, I love your car. But those are, I know those people immediately know nothing about cars when they say that shit too. The F1 is fun. I'll give it that. The F1 is really fun to drive. But the way the fucking everything else feels, just fucking shit. I want to get out of here. I want to get back in the S-Class, enjoy a nice, smooth, coasty, glidey, luxurious ride. We'll do like a nice first gear pull for you guys over here. Will it even shift to first? Yeah, it will. Brakes, oh my god, these brakes, man, like a Toyota Matrix. It feels like the S-Class stops better, and it's not even as quick as this car. The S-Class makes, I don't know, 280, 300 horsepower, 5.0 V8. They need to put better brakes. The air suspension, at least on this. Like, this was 95k. S-Class was 85k new. This should be a little bit more refined for the price that this cost when it was new, and like what it delivers and what it gives you. I don't know. I feel like it's just an unrefined car. Mind you that this car only has 31,000 miles and it feels like dog shit. Is just, it tells you everything you need to know. It needed a clutch already. It does sound sexy though. The engine itself, like all the bumps and squeaking and all that shit, not so sexy, but the motor exhaust note. We're gonna go put this thing away, hop in the S-Class, have a nice, comfortable ride, man. And this is the selector right here for drive and reverse. Hope you guys enjoyed this test drive.